All right, I think that we're going to be live here in a second. So, how is everybody? Good to see everybody. I just am going to show you guys a couple of things. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. I'm going to turn off the Bluetooth so that way, hopefully you guys can hear me better. Okay, I got that turned off. I want to show you guys some stuff right now that is beyond creepy, beyond creepy. So are we live right now? Let me know. Give me a 5x5 if we are live. I think that we are. So I'm sorry about the lighting. I don't have all my stuff with me here, so the lighting is just terrible. But I want to show you guys some stuff right here that is... So let me show you what I'm going to do is I'm going to preview a video for y'all. I'm going to show you guys a video, just part of it. Just part of it. I'm going to show you guys just part of this video, so that you guys can see what I'm talking about here. And we're going to get into, okay, so we're going to get into this video real quick here. And I'm going to, how is everybody? I'm terribly sorry about the lighting. Unfortunately, I don't have my gear with me here in Philadelphia. So I want to show you guys something right now, and I need your help. I need your help. I don't know what's going on here in Pennsylvania, but it looks like they have taken documents down from court sites from the Eastern District Court in Pennsylvania. It looks like they are trying to cover. Everybody, do me a favor, hit the like button, and then you are going to become an investigator over this 15-20 minutes, because I have to go somewhere after this. I'm going to show you guys some stuff. You're going to become an investigator. Can you guys hear me okay? Because I don't have my microphone. I want to make sure everybody can hear me. I'm going to show you guys something, and this is going to set you back in your seat a little bit. This is really going to set you back in your seat. Now, let me be honest with you. I'm only going to show you guys 5 minutes of this. I'm going to show you the first 5 minutes of this video so that you guys can see what I'm talking about here. And then I'm going to ask the question, and I'm going to jump through this a little bit. We're only going to watch, this is covering the murder of Anthony Allegrini Jr. I'm only going to show you guys a few minutes of this. Don't be upset with me, but I'm going to cut it off because we have to have a bigger conversation about Robert SOBECK Jr., the father of Robert SOBECK Sr. Both murdered people according to court documents. Last night, I printed a retraction because the Pennsylvania State Police have somehow taken documents down from the Eastern District Court. It's unbelievable what you're about to see. I'm only going to show you 5 minutes of this, so don't be upset when I cut it off. Okay, so I'm sitting with the parents of Anthony Allegrini. Will you guys introduce yourself? You can talk right to the camera. Let me know what your names are and tell me a little bit about why we're sitting down talking right now.
Jennifer Allegrini.
Anthony Allegrini Sr. And so why am I here?
We need to get justice for our son, Anthony.
What happened to Anthony?
He was a bystander at a car meet, and he was parked on the side of the road, and
never in my life would I think anything like this would happen.
Reagan Hawking says her boyfriend, car enthusiast, 18-year-old Anthony Allegrini Jr. left for what he called a car meetup around 10 Saturday night.
He wasn't answering. That's not normal for him at all.
And she says it wasn't until she saw the aftermath on I-95 herself near Penn's Landing early this morning, along with Anthony's parents, she realized he wasn't ever coming home. She says videos sent to her since then have her questioning everything.
It was just awful. It was awful getting there, not knowing what happened. It was awful that the investigators would not give us any information.
Fox 29 has obtained several videos reported to be moments before and after the shooting around 3:30 this morning, including this one that shows the aftermath and a trooper standing near a Pennsylvania State Police vehicle and someone on the roadway. A separate video appears to show the trooper pointing a gun at another vehicle driving by. We have reached out to state police for comment on that footage. In a press release, state police say they were sent to that location around 3:30 a.m. and found several vehicles illegally blocking the roadway, with others doing burnouts and drifting and numerous pedestrians watching. Police say as they attempted to approach one vehicle and its driver, who they identified as Allegrini Jr., two troopers were hit by the car. Police say one trooper shot Allegrini and he was pronounced dead at the scene. Hawking can't understand why.
He was just such a beautiful soul. He would always listen. Any adult figure who would come up to him, he was always so respectful. He would never be disrespectful to anyone.
The cops came and everyone started leaving, and he started leaving, and I guess the cops were walking over to him. We don't know exactly, but they shot him through the windshield and killed him.
Anthony, can you tell me the story again and just fill in any details that you feel like you want to say? How did you find out about this, and paint the story again for Jen so we can hear from both the mom and the dad what you know and how you see this.
Okay. It was my birthday dinner celebration that night, so we had 12 of us at dinner. Came back home for cake and ice cream, and he lit the candles on my cake and brought me the cake and had a beautiful time. And then about an hour later, he was going to head to the gym, because that's what he did. He was a gym guy, so it wasn't, not normal for him to do that. So, we got hugs and kisses, and he went to the gym. His girlfriend Reagan was at our house. She didn't want to go. She wanted to stay home, so she stayed back at our house. And we went to the gym for a few hours. So we ended up going to bed, and the next thing you know, Reagan calls Jen at 5 a.m. the following morning and said, "Anthony is not home." And that has never, ever, ever happened.
He was predictable. He was a great kid. They killed the wrong guy.
So we jumped out of bed, got dressed, jumped in the car. Didn't know what to expect. I assume, I don't know. We didn't know what to expect. So we...
He's missing at this point.
He's missing.
He's a missing person, is what you guys think. Maybe something, he's been in a bad
I
car
thought he
accident.
was carjacked is what I was thinking.
And why would you think he was carjacked?
Because he has a nice car that he works hard to pay for. He has a 2019 Audi S4, his dream car, my dream car. He has the car, he works 3 jobs to pay for that car. He loved that car, watched that car every other day, and I'm not exaggerating. He got the car gene bug from me, the exact same way.
You're both car junkies?
Yes.
You were celebrating your 46th birthday?
Yes.
And so now 5 o'clock in the morning, what's the first thing you do?
Jump in the car.
Reagan was, got his location.
Reagan got his location
Through a cell phone?
through Snapchat.
Mm-hmm.
So we just jumped on 95 and followed the Snapchat.
And it was showing him on 95.
But we were thinking, oh, well, someone took his phone or he dropped his phone. Why would he still be in one spot at 5 a.m? So we drove northbound 95 past the Columbus Boulevard area. And I did see some police activity in the southbound lanes, and it didn't hit me then. I don't know if it was my brain saying, no, this can't be happening, or that's not it. So we got off an exit on Columbus Boulevard, and then drove down Columbus Boulevard and zigzagged through the city just a little bit, and then we're like, this is crazy, it has to be. So phone still says, right on 95, southbound. So we drove south on Columbus Boulevard, jumped back on 95 north again.
Did you pass the phone? So
Yeah, we drove by the phone.
So the phone was located, and then you go by the phone.
We didn't, yes.
We didn't know, but we did.
Yeah.
So Anthony, where is that phone?
So back on 95 northbound, heading north, and then we're back to that spot,
And
the underpass of Front Street, and where all the streets go over 95. I saw the police cars and the lights, and
I said, it's showing he's in there. We have to pull over. We have to
So,
go in there. We have to see what's
pulled
happening.
over to the left shoulder. I told Jen and Reagan to stay in the car. I'll be right back. So I jumped over the median and then ran up like the tunnels. It looks kind of like a tunnel. It's just a few overpasses together, but it seems like a tunnel. And that's where I met like a wall of officers, you know, with the, you can't go past this. And I see Ant's car, which looked to be like Ant's car, but I'm still a little bit further away, so I'm getting closer, and they're not letting me go. And I walked there, but I said, my hands up. I'm Anthony Allegrini Sr. I'm looking for my son, Anthony Allegrini Jr. He didn't come home. I said, I think that's his car. It was probably, I don't know, 75 feet away, maybe at that point, 100 feet. But, I mean, I was pretty sure it was his car. Then I get a little closer. They're stopping me, and they wouldn't tell me anything, wouldn't give me any information, it wouldn't help. They just said, we can't talk about it. It's an open investigation. And any way to stop me. So the next few minutes.
And he took too long, so I got out and I jumped over and I came and I see his car.
Yes.
And I see it.
So, yeah. So if you look around, they had like 5 officers, you know, making a wall so we can't get by. And then I look right next to the patrol car, and there's a yellow tarp. And I told the guy, I'm like, well, who's under the yellow tarp? What's happening? Well, we can't say, we can't confirm. And then that's when Jen Reagan ran up the street, hysterical, crying, and 3 cops tackled Jen, because Jen wasn't going to stop.
Then, I was getting past 2 of them, then a giant guy. He didn't like tackle me, but they definitely stopped me.
Yeah, they stopped her, broke her glass, the phone went flying. Reagan just collapsed on the ground. I guess I was still in shock. I didn't freak out yet. It was like an out-of-body experience. I don't know. I was coherent. I had a conversation with them. I'm pretty sure what was happening.
And we were just
Mama,
saying, you have to tell us. And then, like, I just tried. Thankfully, I didn't get to them, but
You were trying to get to the yellow tarp.
I said
they wouldn't tell us.
Yeah, I said I told Jen, I whispered to Jen, I said, I can get there. If you're not going to stop me, I said, eventually they'll either jump on me or tase me or whatever. But if you need me to get there, I can get there. Because this wasn't like a 2-3 minute thing. This was like 10, 15 minutes of, can you please tell me, can you this, can you that? And then right away, the cop says to her, well, look, man, you have to understand. 2 of our troopers died here last year.
Right on this highway.
On this highway. And she says,
I didn't.
what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah.
Like, what are you even talking about right now? And I'm grabbing the other guy, and I'm like, hit him on the arm. I'm like, please, who is under the tarp? What is going on under the tarp? And like, well, we can't say. So this went on for a while. And finally, one of the suits came over, and he must have made a phone call or whatever. But and one of the officers said, trust me, sir, I know how you feel.
Oh, does he?
I said, do you? I said, is that your son under the yellow tarp? Because if it's not, you don't know how I feel.
Yeah.
And we still didn't know for sure. The officer asked, would your son ever let anyone else drive that car? And I said, no way. No one's ever driven that car. Him or me, and that's it. He said, well, we believe it's the driver. And then another 10, 15 minutes of, please tell us, give us a description, give us something. And finally, someone came over and said, we can't confirm nor deny. It's still an open investigation. We don't know all the answers, all the facts, but we believe that is your son under the tarp. And then he said he was shot. And we're like, what do you mean shot? Like, I thought it was a car accident. I didn't know what happened. We didn't know anything, right? He's like, what shot? Jen says, well, did you catch him?
Did you catch the car, Jeff?
Did you catch him? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And he says, yes, we have him in custody.
You talking about his friends?
Talking about his friends.
Yeah, we didn't
know. I thought it was a carjacker. We didn't know anything yet. We didn't know anything. They wouldn't say anything.
Who killed your son?
Pennsylvania State Trooper.
What's his name?
It's Robert SOBECK Jr.
His name is Robert SOBECK Jr. Okay, I'm going to pause right here for a second because this is where I need your help. Okay, so, I've edited this for 20 hours maybe. And as we go down the video, you're going to see dozens of pictures and videos of Anthony Allegrini. He was a Back the Blue supporter. He supported police. You'll hear his dad later say that he supported police, that he had arguments with his friends supporting police. You'll also hear the father say, and the girlfriend and the cousin and everybody who knew the kid, that he had the utmost respect for adults and authority. And if he got a direct order from any adult, he did it. He never disobeyed in that way, ever. The kid was predictable like a stopwatch, you know? And so you heard just now, they said that Robert SOBECK Jr. killed Anthony Allegrini, shot him in the chest from a foot away from his windshield, or however, you could see eye to eye with the kid. And so now here's where the Pennsylvania State Police are taking cases down so that we can't research them. Fortunately for us, the family actually kept the file. And this is about Robert SOBECK Sr. and Robert SOBECK Jr., who both have killed people. Now, I did a retraction video, and I put a retraction in my community page earlier about Robert SOBECK Sr., because when I went to go research the case of wrongful death for MICUS GOLSON is gone. Fortunately, the family downloaded the PDF, and I have the case now. So we're going to take a look at it, because I need to know if Robert SOBECK Sr. killed MICUS GOLSON. That's what I need to know, because as you guys know, I will not put out misinformation. I did a retraction this morning because I wasn't quite sure. I'll show you guys just a couple more minutes of this video, and then I'm going to cut it off because I want you guys to see the whole thing in its entirety, but I'll let you watch a couple more minutes of this. And we have to get justice for Anthony. Now I'm picturing the scene here. I imagine at this point, emotions are completely out of control. What's Reagan doing? What are you doing? And what are you doing when you...
We're all holding each other up.
Right.
Numb. Legs are numb, arms are numb.
No.
Can't think, can't see, can't breathe. So we know he's under there, but since I didn't see him for myself, there's still a little bit of doubt and hope that it's not him.
Hoping someone stole his car and the driver got shot.
And hoping it looked like him. And so we stood there for a while. Hard to remember exactly how many minutes, but we stood and we stared. And they said, okay, you're going to have to go. It's an open investigation. We said, no, we're not going. That's my son. My only son.
His phone's there, so you're pretty
His phone's
sure,
there.
but you're not sure.
Car's there.
And then he says, well, what did his car look like? It's a 2019 black Audi S4 with silver wheels and that little sticker in the back window. I said, his car looked like that. That's his car.
Yeah.
Are you sure? I said, yes, I'm sure. That's the car. And then they said, okay, well, you're going to have to go ahead and go. I'm like, well, where are we going to go? I said, we're not leaving without him.
Right.
And it was another standoff, and it was a whirlwind, and time stood still, yet it was going so fast. Finally, they said, if you go back to the station, they'll have more information for you. So that's only, I'm just saying that because that's how they got us to go.
And so
Because you're not going to leave your son under a tarp.
No.
On the cold concrete.
Right. And you're on a freeway. You're
We're on 95. We're on 95.
You're on the 95. So this is surreal because you've never been standing on a freeway before. So this is
And
all
without traffic.
and they stopped the traffic going.
Oh yeah, completely closed.
Did you get anything on film? Did you record any of this?
No,
No, we were in shock.
because we didn't think,
Right.
we didn't know what we know now.
Right.
If we knew what we know now, cameras would have been rolling because, yeah. So we had to go to the station. So they gave us a nice escort.
The police escort. They
Police
said that's your car, and so they sent a cop over for you to follow.
Yep,
And then he put on his lights and he followed you guys to the station.
yep.
For the people who are watching this, when you see a cop, you start recording. I came here to Pennsylvania to interview these people. When you see a cop and the lights are on, or he's walking up to you, you start recording the cops, because those moments that they were left, right, go center, go this way, go that way, I would have liked to have had an account of that, because then you could have seen, people could see straight up, the cops are jackboot thug pigs. They're all on the same team. I know you guys don't feel that way, but that's how I feel. So, so now they give you the escort to the police station, and now what happens next?
They put us in the lobby
We just sit there.
and sat there for 3 hours, not knowing if he's alive, if he said there's a small thread of hope that it wasn't him. And we have, people at home. Jen's mom was with us.
When we left, I told her, please call all the hospitals and
Yeah,
jails, just asking,
just see what,
you know,
if he could be anywhere.
if he could be anywhere. And at this point, she's home doing that, and I know, he's not there. But
And now we know what we think we know, but yet we can't tell her because we're not 100% certain. So now we sit
we don't want to say it out loud.
and cry in a lobby by ourselves for 3 hours, waiting for who knows for what. We don't even know. We don't even know it was the state trooper yet. I thought he got carjacked.
Yeah.
Right.
Shot.
So
Right.
Reagan is sitting next to me, and she shows me a message that someone sent her on social media, and it says, "Rest in peace to the boy that was shot on 95 last night by the state troopers."
Oh my God.
And that's how we
That's how
found
we found
out.
out.
And I showed it to Aunt, and I said, they can't be real.
Yeah, they got the wrong
There's
kid.
no reason.
Anthony's
Yep.
perfect, kind, easygoing soul.
So I went up to the window and I said, I'm finding out on social media what happened. So if you want to tell me your side, you do it now. So then they came down and got us and took us up. And that's when they told us that he struck 2 officers. And I said, no, he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't. I know him. He wouldn't.
No way.
He would not hurt anyone. That's not.
I'm not just saying that because we're the parents.
No,
You
he
could
would not
ask anyone that knows.
do that. He wouldn't.
He would de-escalate any situation. He always brought everyone down, and if anything got tense, he would just be that guy.
So then they told us that, and we're lost. We don't know what to do from there, and they walk us out. And
No, hold on. Take
Yeah, you
it.
skipped a bunch.
Let me. Let's go. It's okay. I'm gonna guide you through this. I've done this
Sit at
before.
the table.
Okay, so I didn't plan on showing you guys this whole thing, but unfortunately, I think we're just gonna watch this whole thing. I should have called the parents and let them know I was gonna air it, but I just wanted to show you guys 5 minutes because my current investigation is on the Robert SOBECK Sr. and Robert SOBECK Jr. Robert SOBECK Sr. is accused, it's in documents, that he killed MICUS GOLSON. I put both the documents in the description. Another court case from 14 years later says that MICUS GOLSON isn't dead. I don't know if Robert SOBECK Sr. killed MICUS GOLSON because I do know for a fact that Robert SOBECK Jr., Robert SOBECK Sr.'s son, murdered Anthony Allegrini. He was having a bad day, he's not right, and he murdered that kid because this kid would have complied to any order. I'm gonna keep playing it. I mean, if there's people in the crowd can alert the Allegrinis that I'm gonna show this right now. I'm also gonna put this out on its own independently as soon as it gets greenlit, because as you guys know, if they don't greenlight your video, they just put it in the very back if YouTube's not getting their cut. So this investigation, I need you guys to look in the description of this video and take a look at MICUS GOLSON. And I need to know if Robert SOBECK Sr. murdered MICUS GOLSON because his son murdered Anthony Allegrini. I need to know that because I need to make sure that I know. I have to know the truth. That's what matters the most. Justice. So when you get up there to the room and they pull you back to the back, what do they say to you?
It's just like the movies. 3 suits on one side of the table, and the devastated parents on the other side of the table.
3 cop suits.
3 cop suits.
Okay. And these are lieutenant, major, captains, detective.
Yeah.
And
Corporal.
so then you tell them, I saw he's dead and a cop killed him on social media. Tell me your side. They sit you down at the table like we're sitting at a table now. What's the first thing they say to you?
We're going to record this. Is that okay with you? And we said, record what? And then we're gonna record, so all three of them open their little books with the yellow notepads, and they'll put their recording devices out. And we said, sure, whatever. We have nothing to hide or gain or lose. Record, whatever. Tell us what's going on. So, okay, click, and they hit record, and then they state the date. The lead guy stated the date, and then went right into, on this day, June 4th, 2023, your son, Anthony Allegrini Jr., was shot and killed by a Pennsylvania state trooper.
That's how they start talking to you?
Yeah.
And it's just a cold, just on this day, your birthday. June
2
3rd?
days after my birthday. My birthday is the 2nd.
So you celebrate that
We
week.
couldn't get everyone together on the
Right,
2nd, so
sure.
dinner was on the 3rd.
Yeah.
And that's the night he went.
It's everybody's family.
It's
We all do that.
Yeah.
We all adjust like that.
And that was it. And then they started asking us questions.
Yeah,
Right?
they
And we're
were
like,
more worried about
why?
the
what-
meetups.
Where does it mean? How do you find out about the meetups?
So
How often does he go to the meetups?
Hold on a minute. So they say today's June 4th, 2023, when Anthony Allegrini was shot by a state trooper, not saying his name. And then they say, so how do we hear about the meetup? They start with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tell us about the night.
And tell us about Anthony. What did he do that night? Where did he go? Who did he talk to?
Did he go to these a lot? How does he find out? And we're like,
Their only interest was-
Yeah, they only want to know about the meetups. They did not care one bit. That they just told us that they
Murdered our son.
Right. So what do you say to that? You say, I mean, are you answering their questions? Or
We don't know. Like,
Right, you're in shock.
Yeah, we answered. We're in shock. Like I said, we have nothing to hide ever. We're honest, hardworking people. We don't deal with the police. This is new to us. This is not our thing.
Don't you have cops in your family?
Yeah.
Yeah. You have relatives who are
Yes.
police? You know, we all
We're
have.
totally fine with cops before this.
Oh, so you're not like me at all. You have respect and you had a good relationship with cops. You backed the blue most of your life, I imagine.
That's starting to fade.
Oh, so you see it. You guys can see it. People often say to me things about police, and I will always tell them, you can't trust a single one of these jackboot thug pigs. These people literally have used the term, we back the blue. You'll hear in a few moments that Anthony, the leader, the stud that this kid was, he would have arguments with his buddies that not all cops are bad. And this is what my argument is to you now watching this. It doesn't mean that every single person who signs up to be a pig is bad. It means it takes one bad pig to kill you that you were supporting that pig. And that's what I'm talking about. You cannot trust these parasites. You cannot trust them. And this is a damn fine family. They are good people. Do not trust police. Do not trust them. When you see a cop come around you, if he walks into 7-Eleven and you're in there, boom, phone comes out. It's that fast. Practice it now. Boom, phone comes out. I'm just. Oh, yeah.
Well, more than start. But
Unfortunately, I'm sorry. People back the blue until it happens to you, and then you realize that they're
it
all
could be
in.
anybody.
It's
It doesn't matter what color, race,
That's right.
social, economic status, anything does not matter. You can be anybody, and they can just make up whatever story they want, and they run with it.
So
And that's what the world hears.
The story that you told them, by the way, later projected in the media. Didn't they paint Anthony as he was a street racing kid down there? Isn't that
Yeah,
The media,
the media
the press
made
release,
it like he was a criminal.
like he was the captain or the leader of that group.
right?
Like he
And
was
yet
not.
he didn't even,
He was not participating.
he was
He was
parked on the
parked
shoulder
Yeah, he was outside of his car.
And we have
when the
videos.
cops came.
from his phone, Snapchat, that shows like minute or 2 minutes before this happened, him filming the cars
Right.
from the side of the road. So he's not partaking.
He was
he's
not blocking the
involved.
highway.
He was not blocking a lane. He was parked on the shoulder,
Like all the other cars.
like all the other cars.
And so at nighttime, imagine the 95 is pretty dead. There's only very minimal traffic going through.
Yes,
so
there's minimal traffic.
They do their events down there.
Well, they were doing, all the car stuff, the donuts or whatever were on the northbound side and he was parked on the southbound side.
Right.
So
Kids being kids. We did the same thing as kids. It was pretty normal. We'd go with Brody's in the parking lot, and we didn't have cameras back then, or we would have filmed it, but we didn't.
Sure.
But we did Brody's.
I went, yeah. I mean, any car person has gone to the races in Philly.
So now let's go back to the room, and they start questioning you about this or that, about the things. So you answer all their questions because you're just trying to get to the truth as to why Anthony's killed, and that eventually must get to a point where it breaks down, and you start to say, "Hey, why'd they shoot him?"
I just said it doesn't make any sense. Well, they're telling us that he struck 2 officers. I said, no.
They say, failed to yield and struck 2 officers. And we both said, no, that didn't happen.
You didn't raise that kind of kid.
No.
No way.
No.
He's not that way.
No, our
he's
son's
not.
the best person in our whole family. Ask anybody. That's a fact. Respectful, hardworking, polite, hold doors for people. A true gentleman.
He wouldn't hurt anyone.
Nope.
And that's what I told him. I said he wouldn't hurt anyone. I said there has to be some kind of mistake.
Yeah. Like you have the wrong person.
And there's no video footage of the shooting. I filed for you. It's for you.
There's
We have
some videos that bystanders, turned in. The police, when they pulled up, they faced their dash cam towards the wall and they left their audio recordings on their visor. So there is no dash cam footage and there is no audio.
So to the Allegrinis who are going to be watching this, I'm sure, there's your lawsuit right there. He didn't follow policy. And there's another policy they broke as well. That's how you get this Jackboot Thug Pigs badge. And that's what you got to do. You can do what you like. If I had standing, I would do it myself. That's your way in. This reminds me of Craig Ellingson finding the policy that Anthony Piercy broke, real tiny little policy that Anthony Piercy broke. And that's how Craig Ellingson got Anthony Piercy fired for justice for Brandon Ellingson. So I just want you guys to know that you have a way to get rid of this pig. You have to chase it down through the federal court system, unfortunately, and the judge is going to be working against you. I wonder what the policy is of that department. I'll look into that for you.
They're supposed to have it
Right.
on the audio on them.
So now we're in the meeting here. The ending of this, I can't figure out how it ends yet. How does this come to an end?
It's interesting. They had a few questions, and we didn't have answers for, like about the meetups and things we couldn't answer. So they were pretty much done. So then he takes a card out of his jacket, and he goes, "Oh, by the way, here, you have to call here. Call the ME." I'm like, "What's the ME?" "Oh, medical examiner. Here, the number's right here. You can call."
They have Anthony.
And Anthony's there. I'm like, when do we make that call? Where do we make that call? Do we call here? Do you help us make that call? Sorry, I never did this before, but we're talking about my son here. So, do I go home and call? Do I go, what do we do? "Oh, it's okay, here. Just call this number, you'll talk to someone there, and they'll guide you from there." What do you mean guide me?
And walked us out.
Yeah, they walked us out. I'm like, "Well, what happens next?" I said, "What? No, we don't know anything. What?" Well, it's, one step at a time. And
Did you ask them about the state trooper? Did you say, who's the man that killed my son? Did you get that far?
Yeah, we did. And they said that they won't release the name unless he's charged.
And did you say, why did he kill my son? Because he said he failed to yield? And you said, no, he didn't? And then,
no way would that ever happen.
so for me, that blows up. So for me, that, do you hear what he said? No way that ever happens, that Anthony Allegrini Jr. would disobey an order from a cop. No way. That's what he said. Did you hear it? Did you hear it? Let me play it again just so you can hear the sincerity and the intensity and the vibrations in Anthony Sr.'s voice. Why did he kill my son? Because he said he failed to yield? And you said, no, he didn't? And then,
No way would that ever happen.
no way. So for me, that blows up. For me, that explodes at that point. What do you guys do? You guys just let them tell you this, and then you have to leave?
We're
We
not.
can leave. We're not. Yeah, we're numb.
I
Can
don't
hardly
know,
see
like,
straight. Can't feel our feet, our hands.
I don't,
We're walking out of the building. He,
trying not to believe it. I
yeah,
don't want to believe that he's gone.
Right.
yeah. Try it on. Just think about that for a
The
second.
5 steps of grieving. The first one's denial.
Yeah.
Deny it first. He is not dead. He's not dead. There's an error here. It's a carjacker who stole the phone and the car, and it's not Anthony. So now you got to find your kid's body.
Yeah. So we go back to the car, and we're sitting in the car, looking at trying to muster the strength to call this number, and try to get words out of my mouth, which wasn't easy. So it took a few attempts to get through, and I don't know if we waited 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I don't even know. Couldn't call right away. Finally, I was able to call and sort of speak. And she answered, this nice lady on the phone, answered the phone and said who she was, and I said who I was. And I said, I'm looking for my son. I was told he's here. Anthony Allegrini Jr. Do we come see him? Do we have to identify him? How does this work? She said, there's no viewing rooms here. You don't see him. And I said, I don't need a room. I'll see him anywhere. We don't even know if this is him yet. I want to put eyes on him. I need to know. And she said, well, there's no viewing room here, and we don't show bodies here. She was very nice. I don't remember her name. I understand that's her job and that's her business. And she was as respectful as she could be. And she said, I'm sorry. You can't see him. The autopsy is going to be tomorrow at 9. Expect the phone call afternoon. And I said, and then what? Oh, then he can make his arrangements, his final arrangements. I said, arrangements for what? Like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't understand what's happening here. And she said, well, someone will call you sometime in the afternoon. And then, like funeral arrangements and that sort of thing. And I was like, oh, that, okay. And hung up, and that was it.
Yeah.
And you don't get to see him.
So you go home? You
go
never
home.
get to see your boy?
No. And I had to drive home, somehow. Couldn't, feel anything or see. I drove home in a fog, the same fog we're living in now. And then...
No closure. No assurance. You don't know if it's him or not. You have no idea. So then what happens? You get home, and what's that like?
So Jen called her mom first from the parking lot to tell her. So we have Jessica, our daughter, and Jen's mom together at the house. They're alone at the house. And then I can hear Jen's on the phone, but I could hear her mom just let out this blood-curdling scream of no, and then the two of them are hysterically crying.
I'm sure.
At home alone, and
We didn't want to wait until we got home because the stuff was going on the internet, and I didn't want my daughter to know internet.
How old's your daughter?
23.
So she's Anthony's older sister.
Yep.
And so you have to call your daughter.
Well, my mom was with
Yeah.
her, so that's why we called and told her instead of waiting.
I didn't realize that the daughter was with the mother, because at this point I was extraordinarily emotional.
When we got home, because I didn't want.
Right, because she's looking online.
Yeah.
To find out anything about Anthony.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So then you drive home, I imagine. You drive back. What's that like? What are you guys feeling? You guys crying?
Can't even remember.
You don't remember it, huh? It was all a blur,
It
huh?
was definitely it was everything, and mostly a blur. You're in shock, you're in denial, you're in grief. You don't even know if you're grieving yet, or it feels like you died.
Yeah.
I haven't been dead yet, unfortunately, but I'm pretty sure it feels I hadn't.
Did you hear what he said right here? Listen to how this man is feeling. Listen to what he says right here. I didn't catch it until the edit because I was in my feelings. Listen to what he says, though. if I had heard it properly during the interview, I would have responded to it.
Or it feels like you died.
Yeah.
I haven't been dead yet, unfortunately,
Unfortunately.
but I'm pretty sure it feels this is worse than death, for sure. And it doesn't, I know for sure, because death would be easy.
Peace.
Yeah, that's easy. So yeah, you're just in this fog, denial, grief, mourning, pain, sadness, anger, frustration, and then, well, to the current day, it just gets worse.
Oh, really? The pain and
The pain gets worse.
You
So, I
still
wanna-
expect him to come through
Yeah,
the
he's
door.
got to come through this door. Like, he's got to come home.
Our granddaughter today asked to go in Curly's room. She calls him Curly.
Yeah.
And we go in. She said, "Why isn't he here?" And she said, "He's still in heaven." I said, "Yeah, he's still in heaven."
So she knows that he's in heaven, and she thinks at some point you can be done in heaven and come home.
How old
So
are you?
she's 3. The other day she said, "Grammy,
So I was crying. I was upset.
we're gonna get Curly from heaven. He'll come home and make you happy again." And she's 3.
So I imagine you get home, it's horrible, you're crying and you're sad. And then eventually, when do you start to say, I want to know who killed my kid, and I want to know why they killed my kid? When does that questioning start to happen?
Pretty soon.
Yeah, instantly. We called a friend of ours that's an attorney. And, he started, just making phone calls and, helping us out.
You don't get anywhere. You don't get any answers. You don't get
any
anything.
answers. You don't get anything. Nothing.
He's calling the police department, he's calling his contacts, he's calling commissioners, he's calling mayors, city council members, calling anybody he's to contact that we can get some information, and he gets nothing.
Nothing. It's silent.
It's the blue wall of silence. It's written
It's
in
an
the
active investigation.
Right. And if you know any information, that might mess up their investigation.
Then we start getting word that there's videos out there. My granddaughter's father, was willing to, we couldn't
Watch it.
watch. So, and my mom watched all the videos as they came in. My cousin Mary, just trying to piece together what happened.
Yeah, thankfully we have amazing people in our family, like Mary,
Cousin Mary.
cousin Mary. Yeah, she's phenomenal. She's been like our rock, and she's fighting so hard, like as if it were her own.
Our
She's
whole
amazing.
entire family was there, and Anthony's friends, for
We had
weeks.
over 50 people a day at our house for like 3 or 4 weeks straight, nonstop. People, family, friends, loved ones, food, the water, the drink, the amount of people and food in and out of that house. It's horrible. You don't
I wanted to just get to bed and
sleep.
knock me out,
You can't.
but my family wouldn't let us.
Yeah, it's
Anthony's are both of our friends.
it's hard to describe when you're going through that. Thank God we have awesome people.
What about work? Did you have to go to work?
Yeah, you have to go to work, but we couldn't go to work.
We didn't go for 3 weeks.
We missed 3 weeks of work because you don't really sleep, and you don't really eat until your family's and the family says, "Hey, you get a couple bites today. Did you take a bite of this, or did you?" And you're walking around like a zombie. It's like like I said, it's like you're dead, but worse. Somehow you can still breathe, and you're just moping through the house like in a fog, and it's full of people that are there to support you, and you can't really interact or not break down or understand or comprehend any conversation because your mind just turned into scrambled eggs. And that that goes on for weeks, and then finally you're so exhausted from not sleeping and crying all the time. You can literally cry yourself dry to where you can't cry anymore, and your body and your muscles are killing you because you're so tense from crying and laying on the ground like in a fetal position. And then eventually you pass out for an hour or two, and then we were tracking our sleep, so it took maybe a little bit to get a little bit better each day. Your body not sleeping because it's time to go to sleep. You're sleeping because you're beyond exhausted. Your body's shutting down. So then you get a couple hours here. And then I say, oh man, I got about 3 hours. I think I got about 3 hours last night. And then that's how it goes.
You're waking up thinking of Anthony. You guys are waking up every.
So, yeah, the sleeping's the best part because you're not aware of the situation. It takes, I say this to everyone still to this day, it takes half a second when you wake up till it feels like a sledgehammer hits you right in the face with reality that your son's dead and gone. And it feels like a sledgehammer. And you can't, it doesn't stop. The nightmare doesn't stop. The pain doesn't stop. It doesn't get easier. And you're smacked in the face with this reality that your son is dead and gone. And that 4-letter word gone is so powerful. And you don't know, I don't expect you to know and understand what gone is like. But until you have a child that you love more than anything in this world, and that person's murdered and taken from you, the word gone has a completely different meaning and a very powerful meaning. Gone is not your trash is gone or the rain is gone. Gone is gone. Done, gone forever. And you get that feeling every second of every day. And only when you're sleeping do you not feel that pain. And if the alarm goes off and you need to go to work now, as soon as you reach over to hit that button for turning it off or hit snooze, it's like a sledgehammer hits you right in the face with, oh yeah, he's still gone. He's still dead and gone. And we don't know why or how or anything or any name. Every second of every day is like that.
So now you go through the tracking of your sleep because you're not sleeping so much and you're trying to encourage one another.
Well, it's something to occupy our minds to
Right,
think about something else.
right.
And how can you not think about your dead son?
Right. And so now, what steps? I know you guys marched down to the Pennsylvania State Police. Do the state? Have they ever said
That's
anything?
4 months
Afterwards,
after.
4 months.
So we were 125 days from the day they murdered him by that march.
And then you marched down there. And have they given you any information? They never told you the cop's name. You guys found that out on your own.
Yes.
Anything at all? Just they killed your kid, and then no.
You don't get a phone call. You don't get a, oh, hey, by the way, we're really sorry for your loss. We screwed up. What? Nothing.
and we're trying to, just
Put the videos together and get our witnesses together, and thankfully through social media we have, people coming to us with videos and
witnesses.
and testimonies of what they saw, and thankfully we have that because you don't get anything from them, and so it's pain and misery, and it's every second of every day, and next thing you know, we're at the 4-month mark, October 4th. 4 months. We're still nowhere. We're no answers, no name, no answers, no decision, no anything. Like, are they just trying to wait this out and maybe hope it'll go away? But
So this is the guy. Now they said that he was hit by a car. He looks like he's standing there to me, and he went running at that car who was filming him.
that's correct.
What was his name again?
Robert SOBECK Jr.
So that's Robert SOBECK Jr.
Yes.
And so you know that he's the trend.
And so this is the discussion. I'm just gonna pop in here for 1 second. We're gonna go. I didn't plan on showing this whole thing, but I've been working on this for hours and hours and hours and hours. Just I was up until noon, and then I slept from noon to 5 p.m. and then I woke up because this is just on my head. This is Robert SOBECK Jr. I put 2 documents in the description of this video. The Pennsylvania State Police has taken down one of the documents off the Eastern District Court blog. So fortunately, the family kept the documents and sent it to me. This morning, I posted a retraction that Robert SOBECK Sr. did not kill MICUS GOLSON, and I made a mistake because when the family told me about the case online, I went online and I read the case. They took down the wrongful death case. It's not online anymore. You can only get it through the links below in the description. I believe that Robert SOBECK Jr. murdered MICUS GOLSON, raised a piece of shit son, and that piece of shit son murdered Anthony Allegrini Jr. I need to confirm that though. I did a retraction because I wasn't sure if I was right or not because they took down the information that would have shown the truth. So we're going to get into that as soon as this video is over.
Trigger man. And what was his name again?
Robert SOBECK Jr.
So that's Robert SOBECK Jr.
Yes.
And so you know that he's the trigger man, and
Yes.
he's still on administrative paid leave.
We don't, yeah, that's what they're saying.
That's what we're told.
Yeah.
We don't know for sure.
Robert
at this point.
SOBECK Jr.
This is the night, so this is seconds after he killed our son.
Yeah.
And he's busy waving his gun around at the passerby. But before this, he was pointing the gun at Anthony again, who's already on the ground bleeding out to death. And he walks over and points the gun at Anthony. And he's walking around clear as day. No limping, no pain, no anything. That was just the story they came up with.
Robert SOBECK Jr. That's the guy that murdered him. Okay, so I just wanted to show him.
Have you done with this?
Yeah, we can get rid of
This is
this.
disgusting.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you.
Now I'm gonna air this, and I'm gonna show as many people, and I'm gonna go to that police department. I'm gonna raise hell. Do you want to take legal steps, and have you made with your lawyer friend? Have you made moves to sue them for wrongful death?
No, we just want
Nothing
justice.
yet.
We
No.
want him charged. That's what we're focusing on. We don't-
So remember, these people are new. They're new to this. They got cops in their families. They've been cop supporters. They back the blue. They don't know that charges don't mean diddly squat, because the jury is full of Kevins and Karens, and the judge is a Kevin or a Karen. You're fighting the system all the way. And eventually these folks, I would bet my fingers that they'll file a wrongful death lawsuit. And when they go to that federal court, they're going to find out that the judge is working against them. Remember, GOLSON's wrongful death lawsuit in '94 was dismissed because it was past the statute of limitations. Should there be, and answer in the comments, and I'll let this play some more, should there be a statute of limitations for murder? Should there be a statute of limitations when someone is killed? There should be zero statute of limitations when someone is killed, and we can find out the truth 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, or 50 years later. So they're new. They don't know that just charges don't mean squat. You got to get them fired.
You want charges?
He needs to be charged for
He's in
murder.
jail.
That is the only thing that matters. The only thing that matters to bring our son back
It's justice.
is just, but we need him back. Our lives are not right. Our universes are upside down. We can't think, walk, function.
It's
The only thing we want is him back. And that can't happen, which really sucks. So the next best thing is to get him charged for murder, for clearly what he did. He murdered our son.
Justice, because they can charge him, but the judicial system is tilted. And it only takes one other boy in blue to say that no, he didn't yield. He was going to hit him. And we saw him running around after he shot him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you want. You want to see him charged with murder.
Yes.
Because you know for a fact your kid didn't try to run anybody over.
Yes, it's bad, yeah.
You know he didn't punch the gas and try to hit a cop. You know that for a fact.
Yes.
Yes.
He's never been in trouble with the law, not a recovering drug addict,
No.
isn't a drunk driver,
He doesn't even drink.
Doesn't-
drink, no.
hockey player,
Hockey player, gym rat,
gym rat,
golfer,
golfer,
fisherman,
fisherman,
I'm working.
and buddy and worker.
and a friend to a lot of people.
A friend of a lot of people of a lot of different groups.
And what about Reagan? How long were Reagan and Ant together?
Year and a half.
Year and a half.
They were very close, extremely close.
Yeah.
She's what?
She stayed with us for the first probably month.
Longer than that,
Month.
yeah. Well, over a month.
Before she could go back to her place.
She wanted to stay at the house in case he came home.
That denial's a tough one. It's a tough one.
She's not doing well.
Oh, I'm sure.
None of us are doing well. He was her everything.
I'm not doing well either. Every time I look at Anthony's YouTube page that Mary set up, every time I watch it, I cry. Every single time I watch it, without fail. Because
And you
to
didn't even
me,
know.
the murdering of young men in our country at the hands of police is beyond an epidemic. They're killing people so many times for anything. So if anybody sees this kid and they see this kid's story
and you see him growing up, and you've met his parents, and you see they raised him right. He's a good kid. They don't hate cops like I do. They've never had a problem with cops. Don't let my perception of police be painted onto them. But we can see it now that he's a white kid. Doesn't matter what color you are. Anthony said it himself. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter what creed, what religion. It doesn't matter if you're nice or dumb or smart or tall or ugly or pretty. It doesn't matter. They'll kill you. And I tell people this all the time. I tell people to keep your hands above the steering wheel and don't interact. If you don't stop immediately and put your hands in the air, they'll kill you. They'll kill you. It's real. I'm sitting here with people and we're sharing tears. This is very, very real. And it has to stop. You want justice. You're collecting witnesses. So this is a call now to any witness out there, anybody who knows anything, that saw anything,
Absolutely.
that could testify.
Yeah, don't be afraid to speak up because they definitely try to intimidate you. And yeah, Outlaw was very intimidating.
Who was intimidating you?
Not us.
Who was
The press conference. That
Oh.
was immediately after the one you worked on, and
I showed
thank
it.
you for that. You showed that. You were.
Spot
You didn't
on.
even know us, but I felt like you knew us and you were there for us, and we knew right then and there that we need to meet you and give you more information, let you see us, know who we are, so then you have a better understanding
Right.
about Anthony.
America needs to see you and see what happened to your boy.
The way they portrayed him in the press conference, like he's some kind of young, rich punk who didn't respect authority. Well, it's completely 180 degrees opposite of the truth.
What do I say all the time? It takes one cop having a bad day and he'll murder you. And they've been getting away with it since the beginning of pigs were formed so that they can just back each other up and they lie on reports. This is the reason why I'm such a prick to these pigs. I walk up to pigs on the street and I just lambaste them because that pig I'm lambasting that you're going, why is he just being mean to the pig? That's the pig lying on the report that Anthony Allegrini punched the car, and he backs it up and he says, yeah, he hit the gas. Unfortunately for those lying, disgusting pigs, the character of Anthony Allegrini Jr. was so pristine. His character was so strong. His discipline and his respect for authority was in line. They murdered the wrong kid. They're not going to get away with it. I need any witnesses to contact me. I need you to come forward. I need your video. I will leave you anonymous, but I need the video that somebody has. There is a clue. Help me, please. Help me.
We grew up respecting police. He grew up respecting police. He defended the police to friends who were kind of not great fans of the police. Anthony stuck up for the police all the time. Anthony's a hard worker. Anthony's not a spoiled little rich kid. Anthony worked 3 jobs, a full-time job, a part-time business, and another side job to pay for the car. We're hardworking people. I'm a union steam fitter, Jen's an accountant. We're not some rich family that can do whatever.
You're a what?
A union steam fitter.
Steam fitter.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a blue-collar, middle-class family that I'm sitting here talking with. I mean, they make a little bit of money, but they're not millionaires. You didn't buy Anthony's car for him, did you?
No.
He had to work himself to get the money?
Yes.
So you made him earn his own way?
Yes. And now we get to pay for the car.
That sits.
That sits in the police barracks that we can't get to.
Oh, because it's under investigation.
Correct.
And you have
So
to
we pay the monthly car payment, car insurance for a car that's sitting.
1 second. Let me see if I can fix this echo real fast. You guys are getting a little bit of an echo. Let me fix this just real quick here. See if I can make this a little bit better for us. See if this will work. Let me know if this is any better. Okay.
And rotting and not moving. And
Can't love that car.
I love that car. So we want the car back. It's not like we're going to write it off and just not pay. No, we wouldn't do that anyway. We're paying for the car. We need the car back. He would want the car here. He knows we'll take care of the car. We have to have that car forever. So that car is the symbol of my son. who we can't get back. So we need the car back. It has to remain in perfect condition other than the bullet hole in the windshield and the blood everywhere else in there. I don't know how bad it is in there, but I know it needs a windshield and probably a seat and some carpet since they shot him in the chest.
When do you ever get to see Anthony? When does that moment happen?
At the funeral home.
We walk in the funeral home.
How long is that?
Thursday, so
4 days?
yeah,
So 4 days, you don't have any confirmation. You've never seen a body.
Never
So
seen
for
it.
4 days, you're thinking, this is a mistake, right?
Yeah.
You want to keep believing it, and then your reason says no, and then your logic says, yes, it's a mistake, and then reason says no, and then logic says, yes, it was a mistake, and you keep going like this, right?
Yeah, your mind will play funny tricks
Yes.
on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't never
There's no confirmation, so you don't sleep for 4 or 5 days.
Right.
Nothing.
Right. And then you have to make arrangements. And then you have to make decisions like what were his final wishes? I don't know. He was 18. We never really had that conversation. Does he want to be buried? Does he want to be cremated? You don't talk about that with your 18-year-old. But all of a sudden, boom, you're on the phone with the... couldn't even do it. Jen had to do it. Talk to the funeral home. Okay, what day do you want to have the service? You get to pick a day. You want it day or night?
Never.
I don't know. How about never? Well, you have to pick a day. How about Thursday or Friday? Okay. Thursday? Do you get it over with? Do you wait? Thursday. Do you want day or night? All these decisions, like your brain doesn't really work, but you're trying to answer all these questions. So we decided nighttime. That way people wouldn't miss work. Because if you
Right.
go to work, you're not making money.
Right. And sometimes you're not allowed to miss work at all.
Sometimes you don't miss. Yeah.
Sometimes you
I don't
cannot miss work.
Yeah, I
If
don't
you miss work, you're fired.
If you don't get, and if you don't work, you don't get paid.
Right.
So I understand that. So we tried to be respectful to our friends and family. So we did it nighttime, and they said, "Oh, it costs a little more."
Of course.
Whatever. Okay. And I said, by the way, whatever the window is of this service, you're going to need to extend it. So
Yeah.
whatever this time frame is, we need more time.
And the
Are you
funeral
sure you need
home
more
was-
time?
Was awesome.
The funeral home was great. They were awesome.
helpful.
And we got extra time, and I said, I think you're going to need more time. So we got more time.
Really.
And then the night of the service, we needed more time, but I mean, they don't, I'm not saying, no, I don't need that to come out wrong. They're not like charging us extra.
Right.
We already got the extra time, did all that, but I'm saying we had so many people. The funeral home told us there were between 900 and 1,000 people at a service for an 18-year-old. They said they'd never seen that before.
We stood there for 5
We
hours.
stood for 5 hours greeting people. Funeral home said, we've seen other services with like military or police family, and they weren't this long
Right.
with this many people. Your son must have been amazing. I said, yeah, you're damn right my son was amazing. Who gets 1,000 people at their service and you're only 18? And if you're some kind of young punk like they portray him to be, you're not getting 1,000 people
Right.
at your service. You're not going to get the Macy's cologne lady,
Right.
a stranger to us, to come to his service.
Oh, you found out he had a friend that was a sweetheart.
No,
No,
it wasn't a friend. It was just an acquaintance. Wherever he
Because
was,
he liked cologne, he wouldn't, I know they used the same place. So
Right.
she knew of him and commented on him.
he
his
had a
energy.
magnetic personality. You only need to talk to him for 2 minutes to realize he was awesome, and you'd want to be his friend. He could be in Wawa, in line for a couple minutes, and have a friend come out with a name and a number and say, "I'm going fishing with that guy next weekend,"
Wow.
because that's how he was.
Watch this.
Wow.
Watch
The
this.
Chick-fil-A lady, it's like a fast food place. I don't know if you have them.
Yeah, we do in the West
Okay.
Coast. Yeah,
Watch
love
him.
He loved him.
I love,
It's his
I love
favorite. It's his
Chick-fil-A.
favorite thing. Favorite thing is chicken nuggets.
Really, the chicken-filet chicken nuggets, huh?
Yeah. Well, actually, the tenders.
The
I
tenders.
like the tenders better, but and I like the nuggets. But either way,
Right.
she was there. She called her friends and family, and she reached out and said,
I don't know if she went.
He's not done.
"I don't know if she went to
reached out.
service." She reached out and says,
Yeah.
"Your boy was the most polite boy that ever came into our store. He always smiled, always said please and thank you, held the door for every customer. Every time he went in and out of the building, held the door every time." And he didn't just do that like to show off to mom or dad that he's a respectful young man. That's who he raised, and that's how he was. It wasn't like he was just trying to
Right.
act like some.
He was just a nice person.
He's an amazing person. Yeah.
Are you going to file a wrongful death lawsuit against this cop?
We haven't even, it's not even
I
on our
would-
radar.
I
We
would-
need justice.
I would recommend you file that federal civil rights lawsuit because what happens is
As soon as you start to shake the tree, the leaves start to fall. And there may be, by the grace of God, a jackboot thug pig who's like, you know what? I'm changing and I know what happened, and he'll come out. You don't know until you shake the hell out of that tree. And I'm not saying jackboot thug pig's gonna happen. I'm just saying there's, when you really start to dig into people, sometimes the truth will come out. This pig may break. He may break. He may break and say, I shouldn't have shot him. You don't know until you put the pressure on him. Put the pressure on. I would strongly recommend you file that lawsuit and start to dig into facts and depose this guy. Get him under deposition. Depose him. Because when you sue in a federal civil rights lawsuit, it takes a while to get there. But in 6 months or a year, you get him on the camera and your lawyer gets to question him. And then you start to find out if there's discrepancies in his story. You question them both differently at different times. And then you're the cop on the scene. And then maybe there's a crack in the story there. And then maybe they freak out because they realize there's a crack in the story, because it's a blue wall of silence. You can learn about this in the Mullen Commission from 1994. There's actually an entire chapter called the Blue Wall of Silence. So I want all of you to read the Mullen Commission. It's available on deletelaws.com for free. I don't sell it. It's not mine to sell. You need to read the Mullen Commission, or you don't really know how police work internally. The Mullen Commission is a 3-year study on policing from 1992 to 1994. And we discovered that cops are jackboot thug pigs. And you'll get to see it firsthand yourself. So please check it out. I need you guys to go to the website, Delete Laws, and read the Mullen Commission. It'll change your life. We adopted it after the 1972 Knapp Commission. So you can get him under deposition. And then you can see if he'll crack. You know, I've been honest with these folks. I've told them. A lot of times people get so frustrated they can't get justice. He's so frustrated. It just drives them crazy. So I don't know if the sheriff department in this county is over the state troopers or not. I don't know how their rankings.
So I think that's the state troopers, because they investigate themselves.
Right, they investigate themselves.
That's the other thing we want to talk about, yeah.
Go ahead, tell me what you're talking about.
I know you're aware, but, so the state police investigate the state police.
You think you're going to get justice from your kid? The state police
So they say it's
investigate?
non-biased because it's different barracks. I'm like, well, people get transferred. They're all friends. They, whatever, golf, hunt, fish together. It doesn't mean you don't talk to anybody, and it's a separate barracks. So just because one is Troop K out of Philly, and the other one is
Troop K out of media.
Troop K out of Media.
Out of media? So they're both called Troop K?
They're both
Troop K.
So Troop K is doing the investigation on Troop K?
Yes, different barracks.
Different barracks. Philly and Media.
Media's a city?
Media is a town. Yeah, it's a
town?
It's a suburb of Philadelphia.
So they don't have any alliances together. They would never cover up for one another.
Yeah, right? Is that funny or what?
It's hilarious.
So we said that can't be. Who's gonna? Oh, one more thing. Back to the table. Our first. Backing up. Sorry to retract.
That's okay.
When we sat at the table, finally after waiting for 3 hours, they said what they said. What happened? And when Jen kept saying no, it can't be, and they were asking questions, and I said, who do I trust here? And he said, what do you mean? I said, I don't really quite understand how all this works, but you three are on that side, and we're over here. Whose side are you on? It's exactly what I said. It's recorded. I said that. And I'm like, what do you mean? Oh, we're on your side. I said, are you? I said, you work for the same barracks that murdered our son. Oh, well, no, we're not the same. He says, we're the Media barracks. Philly was where he was from. We're Media, so you can trust us.
What'd you say to that?
I said, I don't know. I said, I don't think so. I said, it sounds like you're all state troopers and you're probably all friends, so I don't know how this works. And so that left us like, once I said it out loud, I'm like, wow, this is bad. Who do you turn to? If you can't turn
to the people that are supposed to protect you.
Protect and serve. Who do you talk to? Where do you go? They're the ones we're supposed to be looking up to and help us seek justice and fight for us, but they're the ones that murdered our son. So where do you go? Who investigates them? Well, they investigate themselves.
So let's talk
Doesn't
about
sound like
that.
that's going to go well.
About that justice. So there's an ongoing investigation because his car's still in the impound. You're looking at a year, maybe 18 months even.
They said at least 2 years.
Right, so that it can all die down. The people who follow what I teach, it is not for any other reason other than so that emotions and tempers will die down, and then they release the findings after everybody's outraged about something else, about a different kid's murder. And they do this systematically. So now you want that justice, so what has happened on the justice front?
We don't have a police report yet.
It's
No
an active
statement.
investigation.
Were the cops quarantined away from each other so that their stories could be...
No, they get 72 hours.
They get 72 hours according
Yeah.
to the Pennsylvania rules.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they get to come up with
A
whatever
corroboration.
story they want to come up with.
And now, has there been no communication from the good guys at the K department, at the K barracks? Nothing. Zero. Have you hired your own private investigator? How many videos have you gotten together? Do you have any videos of... I saw, and I'll show this, but we saw that.
We have a few videos, yeah.
Do you
They're
have-
all on social media.
So they're all on Anthony Allegrini Jr.
Yep.
Every video
Yeah.
you receive from anybody. So if anybody has a video, anybody has any video of any of the street racing even that happened that night, I need you to send it to me. We'll do everything we can to track down every piece of evidence that there is out there, and there is more evidence. I'm sorry about the tissue on my lip there. Try not to be distracted by the tissue from wiping my nose and my eyes. But, this again is another call to action for you, the people of Philadelphia, to share this video. And the people who are the street racers, take this video and put it on the street racing pages on Facebook. Let's find someone. There's a missing video here. We need the evidence. We need it badly. We got to get justice for Anthony. He didn't deserve this. He didn't deserve to be killed like this. They shot him from a few feet away. We need your video. Don't be distracted by the little piece of tissue on my lip. I apologize. So send me that evidence. What happens now? I mean, you wait for what and for how long and what are you waiting for?
There's no time frame.
I don't know.
We don't
We
know.
never
We
did this.
don't know anything. We're just the devastated parents over here going day by day, trying to get through the day. And then it's the next day. And then it's the next day. And we don't know. People have been great for us, yeah. People at my work and Jen's work, they've been understanding and helpful. But yeah, you're different. This is not like a phase where he's on a trip or a vacation and he'll come back, or he's at school or something like that. This is gone. Let me fix that echo again real fast. I apologize. Let me see if I can get the audio to fix here. Let me see if this works here. Echo cancellation. Let me know if this works okay. Give me a 5x5. It's all right. So that
We are
flips the universe
person.
upside down. We're done. We're empty. We're hollow. Like I
How-
said, we're zombies.
Are you guys raising any money?
No,
No.
not really worried about money. We just need.
I got this Anthony Allegrini bracelet from them. They gave this to me, so I'll wear it.
His friend designed this.
Interesting. So they don't want any money? They never hated cops? What can I do for you besides this? Is there anything else?
This is huge. We just need to spread the message. We need to keep talking about him, Anthony Allegrini
Forget
Jr.
his name.
He doesn't get to carry on his legacy. He doesn't get to have children of his own and teach them all the awesome things that dads get to teach. That are both awesome things that I did with him. Throw a ball, throw a frisbee, shoot a slap shot, ride a bike. He doesn't get to do that. And I don't get to see him do that.
Right.
I don't get to see him be an awesome dad because I know he'd be amazing. So they didn't just murder that guy. They murdered every second of his existence. From when you're holding him like this, you put him in bed, And then he's your little buddy, and he's up to your knee, he's up to your waist, and doesn't leave your side. He follows you like a shadow, cutting the grass or working on a car. And he's riding a bike. It's every second of his existence, and it's gone. And then all the moments that he would have had, turning into a man and a father and a husband, that's all gone too. So it's not like he just murdered this perfect specimen. It's every second of his existence, every picture, every memory, everything compiled together is all gone. And then all the stuff that we would have had can't happen.
Right. The grandkids.
Gone.
The grandkids and the
And my name,
yeah.
the Allegrini name, could.
We have to be strong for, our daughter and our grandchild, so.
Right. Of course. Of course.
It's strange because I want to see him, everything on there, but at the same time, it's so hard, and I just lose it instantly. But people get to see all of Anthony, not just this image that's everywhere.
Him being
You get
goofy.
to see he's a goofy kid. That's
Oh, you're talking about the YouTube page? Your
There's,
website?
and the
Instagram
website.
and a
What's the
Facebook.
website? Anthony Allegrini Jr.?
He is his own
Yeah.
soul, and he's awesome, and people love him, and he was always making people laugh, and he's always funny. He was the favorite cousin of all the cousins. He included everybody. It didn't matter if they were 5 years younger or 2 years younger. He brought everyone together. Everyone felt comfortable. He included everybody, made people laugh. He did that since he was a kid. You look back, go on the website and see his pictures,
Yeah.
and you see him, a little guy, 5 years old, making goofy faces just to make you laugh. All that's gone.
Never in a million years would you ever think your kid would get killed by a cop. Did
All
it
the
ever
things
occur-
I'm worried about, all of them, every scenario you could think of, never this.
You never thought, because he doesn't get in any trouble. He doesn't do anything wrong. So you didn't think that cops would murder him.
No.
And you know for a fact that your kid didn't try to run a cop down.
Yep,
Yes.
You know for a fact.
Yes.
There's no doubt in your mind.
No.
no doubt.
And they killed him. And they shot
For
him
nothing.
from a foot away.
From being parked on the shoulder, when there's 300 other cars leaving at once. Why didn't they shoot all those people? Or how about just turn your lights on, stay in the car, and let people go home, back to their families. There's no criminals there. I mean, it's not like it was some bank robbery
Right.
or a hostage situation,
Right.
or it's not like he went to a schoolyard and mowed down 20 kids or something.
Right.
Like, are you kidding me? He's watching cars on the shoulder,
It's on a Snapchat.
and you put a bullet in his chest. Yeah. And then he gets out of the car on his own with his hands up in the air.
They shoot him in the heart.
Sternum, aorta, spine, one shot.
Oh my God. They shot him. They shot him right there. You shoot somebody from 5 feet away or 2 feet away or 10 feet away with a 9mm or a 44 or a 38, a 22. If you shoot somebody right here, this is where your heart is. Your sternum right there covers your aorta. If you shoot someone there, you're shooting them to kill them. I just want people to understand. So he was gone. You shot him in the aorta, you're gone.
He was able to
You
walk across the highway.
60 seconds.
Yeah.
If it's
He was alive longer than that.
a long life, longer than a minute.
From the video, you could see his
Yeah.
head move. Yeah, it was.
He was alive.
Yeah, he suffered.
So a little bit of comfort for the Allegrinis here. I want you guys to understand. Something. When you get shot in the aorta, your brain runs out of blood in about 4 seconds. So he may have still been moving and stuff, but I mean, I don't know if it's going to be any comfort. Maybe I shouldn't say it, but within less than 10 seconds, the brain shorts out when there's no blood going to the brain. So just so they know, I didn't say this. I didn't say this during the interview, but I want them to know that now. It was only 10 seconds, and then it was good night. Then it was good night. So just so you guys know.
He was rolling around.
Suffered alone,
On
dying
the concrete.
on the concrete while that, use the term loosely, officer waved his gun over his dying body as his friends were pinned down to the ground, begging to help
They had how many other boys were in the car?
too.
And so they had these guys face down in the torture cuffs on the concrete.
Yeah, there was three. There was three.
One left.
Right.
One left. Two were in cuffs with their face on the highway.
The smart one
Working.
left. The smart one left because they're
Right.
gonna hurt you.
Yeah, so they got to hear Anthony dying. They got to hear that.
No way. Did they
All
tell
right.
you how long that
I'm telling-
lasted? How long he was groaning and begging?
He was yelling, screaming, and choking on his own blood. His friends heard all that.
No
The
way.
people that were there watching this heard that. The other people that were there heard and watched. As nobody rendered aid. They treated him like a piece of trash, like a raccoon struck by a car. And this is not even some criminal we're talking about. We're talking about Anthony, like the model citizen.
Right.
And I'm not saying that because I'm dad. For weeks and months, his friends' parents would call, the moms would call and talk to Jen and say, I just need you to know that he was my son's favorite friend. If anyone was going to come to the house, I want Anthony to be there. Because I knew if Anthony was in our house, I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to worry about anything get out of control. Anthony would take our trash out. He would take our trash out, but I'm saying
He would go to the house and take the trash out.
he would be at a friend's house, and if the trash was full, without being asked, he would just take the trash out. So he takes the trash out, and then he asks Mom, hey, where do you keep the bags? And she's like, what do you mean the bag? What are you doing? He's like, I took the trash out. Where are the bags so I can put a new bag in? Ask any of the 1,000 people that are service. Just ask, and they'll tell you how awesome he was.
They're painting a picture here to let you know that their kid did not try to run over any cop, that he backed the blue all the way, even to friends who were like me that hated cops. And, I hate to tell you this term, but there's a very famous term in my community, and it's called comply or die. That's what we say in our community. If you don't comply, you will die. And I've never seen it more true here now. I can't imagine, I'm just thinking in my head, one cop saying go, one cop saying stay. I could just picture it, and I didn't hear that story. I'm just telling you how I can see it in my head. Because a good kid like this, if a cop told him to stop, he probably would stop. So I can't wrap around my head him trying to run a cop down.
No.
And they said the cop was injured?
Yes.
They wouldn't tell us what injuries.
Yeah, we were told they were injured.
Wow. But he wasn't.
No.
He didn't look it.
They were walking around. Fine, we've talked to some people.
We've created a state of a police state to where if you do not comply, they simply will kill you. I'll wrap this up. If there's anything else you guys want to say, you would talk right to the camera and just, if you want to say anything to the state police, if you want to say anything to the prosecutor, if you want to say anything to any witnesses, to Reagan, to anybody, I'll give you the floor.
I'll just say a couple things. I'll just say thank you
He starts by
to all of our friends and family that have shown all this amazing support through this horrific time. So thank you for being there. Thank you for being our rocks, everyone, especially Mary. She's been amazing. We can't do this without you, without the friends and family, and thank you for being amazing. And then also, if there are any other witnesses out there, anybody who was there that night, anybody that shot a video, anybody that saw and heard anything, please come forward and help, because we need you. We need you to fight this uphill battle. And we've learned that if they knew you saw anything, they don't want you there or want your word. So we need your help. We're asking everyone, don't be intimidated by what they say. Don't let them threaten you. Please help us. Please help us fight for justice for Anthony Allegrini Jr. Our son is the best person in our whole family. It's getting married. It's a fact. Respectful, hardworking, polite, hold doors for people. A true gentleman. For weeks and months, his friends' parents would call, the moms would call, and talk to Jen and say, I just need you to know that he was my son's favorite friend. If anyone was going to come to the house, I wanted Anthony to be there. Because I knew if Anthony was in our house, I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to worry about anything get out of control.
Now we have a discrepancy here, and I need to talk with you guys about it, and I need your help once again because I'm just one man. I'm doing the best that I can. Robert SOBECK Sr. I'm going to share the documents with you right now. Robert SOBECK Sr., who is the father of the murderer, Robert SOBECK Jr. I want to share with you guys some documents here. And so this is the lawsuit, the wrongful death lawsuit that was filed against Robert SOBECK Sr. And this lawsuit was filed in August of 1997. I want to show you guys this document here, and we're going to talk about this a little bit because I retracted my story earlier. So this says this is Titan Indemnity Company versus City of Norristown Police Department, Robert SOBECK Sr. and Claude Lacombe. So what you're looking at here is you're looking at the wrongful death lawsuit, and I want you to read this pursuant to U.S. Code 28-2201. It says here that, apologize here, I'm trying to get more pages. It says here that the City of Norristown submitted an application for insurance to Titan Indemnity Company on September 18th, 1995, which applies to damage for personal property causing an occurrence which injury. And then it goes on to say the policy took effect on this date, the retroactive coverage. And then as we continue to read it here, it says right here, Officers SOBECK and Lancombe had shot and killed Mr. GOLSON on February 22nd, 1994 during the course of an arrest. Mr. GOLSON was African American, Officer SOBECK is Caucasian, and Officer Lancombe is Mexican. The Montgomery District Attorney's Office subsequently investigated the killing and cleared the officers of any wrongdoing. The killing sparked a storm of protests from African American communities against the city, in particular against the city police department. See the deposition testimony of Anthony A. Biondi, city administrator, attached. And then it goes on here to say, deposition testimony of Timothy Woodward. Okay, the community is very concerned about the police officers' use of deadly force. The killing of Mr. GOLSON was only killing to have taken place in the city at the hands of city police during the policy's retroactive coverage period. And so what you're looking at here is this wrongful death lawsuit against SOBECK Sr. for killing GOLSON. Okay, it's plain as day. You guys can see it. So there that is. Okay, now here's where things get pretty freaking creepy and why I'm asking you for help. So you guys saw it. It said right there, plain as day, GOLSON was killed by SOBECK, and then they filed a wrongful death lawsuit. Let me show you something else now. Okay, so when I got the information from a source as a journalist, I took the information and I reported yesterday at the Pennsylvania State Police Department that SOBECK Sr. had killed GOLSON. So then the family then told me that I could look up the case online. So I said, okay, let me take a look at the case online. And so I went there to go read the case, and this is what I found. I found that the case no longer existed online. Now, fortunately, the family had downloaded this and they sent me a copy of it. So then right here, I'm going to stop. You guys can see that there's no case found. Okay. Now, both of these PDFs that I showed you now are available on deletelaws.com. I put the links in the description. You guys can look this up yourself. And then as I was doing the research, so I probably spent literally 25 hours over the past 3 days editing this video so that people would understand the kind of human being that Anthony was and the kind of son that Anthony and Jen raised. And so then when I looked up, let me show you. I want you guys to see the reason why I'm asking you for help. So then I looked up this case of GOLSON right here. And let me see what you guys can see, and I'll share my screen. Okay, cool. So then I looked up the case of GOLSON, and what I found was that GOLSON, and this case is from 2009. Do you see that right there? So if GOLSON's dead, and this is the reason I put the retraction out this morning, if GOLSON's dead, the indictment, the defendant, MICUS GOLSON, a felon in possession of a firearm in which Robert SOBECK Sr. of the Norristown Police Department was smoking a cigar filled with marijuana. So, I'm not going to bore you with this entire case, but at the end of this case, what you guys will see is that GOLSON had sued SOBECK apparently in 2009 because he wrongfully Terry stopped him. And he made up, lied, and fabricated the reason why he was stopping GOLSON. And so, but if GOLSON's dead in 94, same name, MICUS GOLSON, same cop, Robert SOBECK Sr., how are they filing a federal lawsuit to suppress evidence found and suppress GOLSON's criminal record if GOLSON's dead? And 94 to 2009 is 15 years later. SOBECK would go on to run for judge and win. I don't think he's a judge anymore, but I need to understand this. I don't understand it. If it doesn't square in my head, I had to put out a retraction this morning. I've deleted the retraction because, as you guys saw from the first document, it says that SOBECK Sr. killed GOLSON and there was a wrongful death lawsuit. I can't find GOLSON's obituary. I can't find any press clips of a protest. I can't find any of this information. Now, granted, I have been working nonstop with very little sleep because my sleep's messed up because of the emotions I'm feeling. And so, I thought maybe when I spoke to Mary that maybe I was just deliriously tired, because when you sit behind a computer and you edit for 13 or 14 hours straight, it just messes up your eyes. It messes up your soul. And so I put both of these online. Both of them are on my website, deletelaws.com. I need to know the truth, because to me, the truth is the most important metric. To me, the truth is everything. Without the truth, we're lost. The truth is the northern light in the sky. It is the beacon of freedom. The truth is everything. Without the truth, you have nothing. Nothing. So I don't understand what's going on here and why it is that the family could find this case last week. And then when I went to go find the case, as you guys saw, I went to the police department and I blew it up and I let them know. That's a figurative term, of course. I blew them up on social media. I told the cops they were jackboot thug pigs. But now the GOLSON case is no longer online. As soon as the Allegrinis protested that pig shack last week, and I protested the pig shack yesterday, or was it the day before? So what's going on here? How are there two cases, 1994 and 2009? How is this possible? I'm just kind of trying to figure out what it is, and I don't really understand. Okay, so I didn't plan on showing this whole video. I actually had an appointment that I missed, but you know what? There's things that take priority in life, and this takes priority because I'm only in Philly for a short time. I need the witnesses to come forward. I need your help. We won't get justice for Anthony if there's not a cop that breaks and says, no, I said it in the interview and you guys heard me. I believe that one cop was saying go and Anthony being the law-abiding, backing the blue, good kid he was, I believe that one cop was saying, go, get out of here, and another cop was saying, no, stop, stop, stop. Anthony was listening to this cop, and this cop over here shot him. That's my personal viewpoint of what happened. That's what I think happened, because there's no way in hell, from his cousin to his girlfriend to his mother to his father, everybody said if an adult told him what to do, he got in line, he was respectful. Did you see how big that kid was? A big kid, 6 foot tall, built like a brick shit house. He was one of those kids that you wanted around, that if things were going to go haywire, he'd stop it. He'd be like, no, I'm big enough. I'll stop these guys from fighting. You know, he had debates with his friends about cops, and he stuck up for the cops. So there's no way in hell that the cop told him to stop moving his car, and then he tried to run them over. That is such a lie, Robert SOBECK Jr., you murderer. Robert, you are a disgrace to humanity. You are an embarrassment. I pray to God for your soul. I really do. I pray to God for your soul. So you guys can see it here. You guys can see it right here. This is the wrongful death lawsuit. I'll show it one more time here. So this is the wrongful death lawsuit. And it says right there that it's right there. The killing of Mr. Golson was the only killing to have taken place at the hands. Sorry about that. Let me open that for you. The killing of Golson was the only killing to have taken place in the city at the hands of the city police department during the policy's retroactive. So this is the insurance company. And I don't believe there should be a statute of limitations for murder. Okay? I don't believe that. So I don't understand what's going on here. I don't understand what's going on here. I don't know what's happening here. And why did the case disappear from the Eastern Pennsylvania District Court website? The case was up before I got here. The case was up when I got here, apparently. I've talked to the family, and I don't know what's going on. I need more information. Someone find MICUS Golson's obituary. I can't find it. Somebody find a news clipping of the protest that happened here in Philadelphia. Somebody find, help me. And for the love of God, you have got to hear me. If you don't have $9, I'll give it to you for free. Your trifold, your license registration goes in your visor with a rubber band. Your license registration and proof of insurance go right next to it. Your hands never, ever, ever go below the steering wheel, ever. And when these jackboot pigs show up, you just, I don't care what they're saying, make them come over and touch you and say, hey, I'm telling you to leave. Because I believe, I've said it before, I'll say it again, that Anthony Allegrini Jr. was getting conflicting reports from two different pigs. That's what I think. One was saying go, one was saying stop. The one that said stop shot him. We know that to be true. But you got to have the trifold in your car. I gave away 150 trifolds yesterday to people who contacted me. I just sat and clicked and clicked and clicked and clicked. Anybody in the comments, you got a free trifold, let them know. I just clicked and clicked and clicked. As I was editing Anthony's video, I had all these inquiries coming in for free trifolds, and I was like, I got to stop editing his video and maybe prevent someone from dying, maybe prevent a death by just taking an hour, hour and a half here and just click send, click send, click send, click send, click send. You've got to have a trifold in your car. You got to invoke your Fifth Amendment right. You got to keep your hands above the steering wheel. It is comply or die. And even if you do comply like Anthony did, they'll lie and say you didn't comply. And then the other cops will lie for the cop who murdered you. Robert SOBECK Jr., you're going to burn in hell. You're going to burn in hell for what you did. People who live in glass houses can't throw rocks. So I'll pray for your soul. I hope God forgives you, but I don't forgive you. I don't forgive you for what you did. I don't forgive you for murdering that beautiful kid. I don't forgive you. Maybe someday I'll be able to forgive. Right now, it's just not in my heart. My heart is as hard as a diamond. My heart has turned to stone for these pigs. And the gloves are off. F you, pigs. You guys are murderers. You're a part of a gang. You cover up for each other. I keep waiting to see one good cop pop out and be like, I've actually arrested 10 cops this year, because you could arrest a cop on almost every single scene where the gang shows up. One of those cops could be put in torture cuffs and arrested from almost every single interaction. They assault you, they beat you, they tase you, they rape you, they nightstick you. And I'm telling you, when you see more than 3 or 4 cops, when you see more than 3 or 4 cops on the scene and they're up around somebody and they're throwing that person to the ground, that's assault. You don't need to take people to the ground. The entire policies are based on the 60s for blacks. Straight up. I've said it time and time and time again. The system was created for black people. From the 1704 South Carolina slave catchers till now, the system was created for black people. It was created so that they could grab black people and attack them. That's what it was created for. Terry versus Ohio was created so they could grab Black Panthers. Pennsylvania versus Mims, you got to get out of the car. Harry Mims was a black guy. Arizona versus Johnson, the passengers got to get out of a car. Johnson was a black guy. 1997, Maryland versus Wilson. Wilson was a black guy. Name another case. Name another one. I'll tell you the same. It was a black guy. 99%, it's a black guy. They created Supreme Court policy for cops for black people. Remember, there was no such term as officer safety anywhere in our Constitution or our Bill of Rights. So when did officer safety become paramount? After 1954, Brown versus Board of Education freed black people. 1963 was the year before 1964. John Terry was milling around downtown. Black people ain't allowed to be milling around downtown. So then in 1963, they prosecute him. By 1968, they create an officer safety caveat. So we had no officer safety caveat. We've had police ever since 1704. So it took 260 years. It took 260 years to determine we had to create a caveat for officer safety. No, it took 250 years to free blacks. And then 10 years later, we need officer safety. Oh, come on. Don't piss on me and tell me it's raining. I don't buy it. You're lying. You did it for blacks. Don't lie to me. I've done the history. They created the caveat of officer safety 250 years after police were formed in America. I mean, roughly 250 years, right? 1704 South Carolina slave catchers are created to enforce slavery contract, law enforcement for slavery contracts. 250 years later, after blacks are really finally freed, we need an officer safety clause. And ever since 1968, since Terry versus Ohio, all the Supreme Court cases, the first thing they consider is officer safety. Do we have a Supreme Court base to understand the constitutionality of law and to hold whether a law created by the legislature is constitutional or not? That's why we have a Supreme Court. That's why we have a federal court. Now, all of a sudden, though, the Supreme Court and federal courts are more concerned about officer safety than your civil liberties. I asked ChatGPT the other day, can you show me anywhere in the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Magna Carta, show me something, the Declaration of Independence, show me some document that would put officer safety paramount over our rights. ChatGPT didn't have any answers. Did you guys know that the 11th Amendment was created for racism? Did you guys know that? The 11th Amendment was passed in 1795. Well, there's a very famous Supreme Court case in 1793 out of Georgia. What was Georgia? Georgia was the slave portal in Charleston where all the slave ships came. So when Georgia was sued in 1793 and it went through, they then passed the 11th Amendment so slave countries and other states couldn't sue you for violating people's civil liberties, life, liberty, property. That applied to everybody except for blacks. I'm pretty freaking conservative if you guys didn't know that. I mean, I carry a gun pretty much all the time. I'm for a strong border wall, 100%. I'm certainly not a raging liberal. So I'm telling you guys straight facts from a guy who straddles the line of liberal and conservative, classic liberalism, not this wacky new liberal. So I'm just telling you, I mean, we're looking at it. So I got these documents, you know, I'll wrap this up because I got to get to my appointment. But Anthony Allegrini Jr. was murdered by Robert SOBECK Jr. Robert SOBECK Sr., according to the wrongful death lawsuit, did kill MICUS GOLSON. I don't know how there's a case in 2009 with Robert SOBECK Sr. and MICUS GOLSON, and I don't understand what's going on. So I need help. I need the internet to help me. I need your help. And for the love of God, somebody come forward with a video. You guys go to all the car meetup pages on Facebook. You go to all the car meetup places on Twitter, and you start your inquiry. I can't do everything. I'm doing everything I possibly can. I'm literally living my life to change this system. This is why God put me here. This is my purpose. This is why I'm on earth. I don't have any other reason to be here. So I can't figure out what else I should do other than exactly why I'm intended to be here. So I apologize for all the text messages. I had a stalker who is just an insane human being, and I'll probably file litigation because I don't want to be stalked, and I know how to contact them and I know where to file. So I'm probably going to file because I don't put up with it. I give fair warning and then I just sue you. That's how I roll. And that's what I'll probably do. That's what I'm going to do because you want to play games with me? Fine. Defend the lawsuit. And that's what we'll do. So, all right. Anybody got anything else? Chevy, good to see you. Writes on, how are you, Shock Professor? I'll give you guys this. As you guys know, at the end of all my lives, get a God-blessed trifold. Get it in your car. Yeah, this is my business. This is how I make a living. At the same time, I'll give it to you for free. I'll give it to you for nothing. Zero. Nothing. I'll sit and click my button until everybody gets a trifold. You got to get it printed out if you don't got $9, so it's going to cost you 10 and 15 cents. You got to get a rubber band to get it in your visor. You got to get your license, registration, and proof insurance in the visor, because when you see the cop, boom, phone comes out. Can't be trying to get your insurance card out of your phone if it's not in your visor. You can't have an electronic copy of your insurance card because you got to turn off your camera. And in that time, Mr. DeCastro reached for something and now he's dead. And there's no justice. There's no justice. You got to get a trifold. You got to get it in your car. You immediately invoke your Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. Phone's got to go out. Yum Yum, what's up? Wanda, how you doing, Wanda? Love the videos. Soy Leo, what's going on? Lenny, how are you? I am God. What is going on? Good to see you. Tommy, how are you? Greg? I'm actually glad. I'm going to wait till this clears. I'm going to wait until this video clears the censors. The video without me sitting interrupting and talking. I'm going to wait till it's green lit so we can get as much traction as we can behind it. And then I need you guys to do what you do. There's car meetups on Twitter. There's car meetups on Facebook. There's probably car meetups on YouTube. There's all kinds of car meetups of people in Philadelphia. I need the car community, the meetup community, where all those kids, they all have acquaintances with each other. They all know each other. Some of them are good friends. I need to get the video that we're missing, Butch the original. I need to get the video. Milena, how are you? I need to get the video. TheyTube, what's going on? TheyTube. Yeah, thanks. I do have a few shirts in stock. You guys let me know. I don't put them on my website because I don't want the pressure of having to deliver a shirt to somebody and have to go to the post office and all that stuff. I do got a few shirts online. I have a lot of women's shirts, actually. I'm probably going to just start. I don't know. Who gives a shit? I'm more concerned about Anthony right now and trying to find that missing video. I'm trying to find that missing video that someone was filming that they passed by and they don't realize it's on their footage. That's what I'm trying to find. All righty. All right. Oh, yeah. Did you guys see the turtle video earlier today that I released? That was from one of y'all who sent me that video. I want to get them on and interview them about being arrested for literally putting turtles in the ocean. All right. To the Allegrinis, please file a federal wrongful death lawsuit and go after the policies that SOBECK Murder Jr., Robert SOBECK Jr., that he violated those policies because you can get him fired on those policies. You can get his peace officer certificate stripped from him by violating the policies. I believe that's how Craig Ellingson did it. Pretty sure. So I need you guys to do that. Okay. You need to follow through, and you will. Eventually you will, because you want justice so badly. You will. All right, guys, I'm going to get the flock out of here. Thanks so much for coming. I appreciate it. Share this video. You guys can wait. It'll probably be 3 or 4 days before YouTube is going to greenlight that video. And then I have a Fox video in there, so I'll have to challenge it because Fox copyrights all their videos so that they can steal YouTubers' money. But I'll challenge that copyright because I used it for 1 minute, and it was not the crux of my video. It was just a simple news report, so I'll challenge it. All right, Aaron Queen, good to see you. What the flock? What the flock? I'll get the flock out of here. Thanks for coming. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, Gators.